Good morning again. 12th class, Accountancy, Chapter 5, Cash Flow Statement, Book 3. And this chapter is of 8 marks. This complete book is of 20 marks, and out of 20 marks, this chapter is of 8 marks. Okay, so this chapter has the maximum weightage. Around, we can say, the 40% of the 20 marks is 8 marks. So this chapter is having 40% weightage. This chapter will be coming in board, and every year 3 questions come from this chapter. 2 1 marker question. It is decided the number of question in this chapter. 2 1 marker question and 1 complete big question of 6 markers. So total 3 questions will be there every year. And this chapter is also the part of your project work. In accountancy project, you have to do 3 problems. One problem is related to ratio analysis. One problem is related to journal, ledger, trial balance, trading, P&L balance sheet. That is all up to the 11th class. And 12th class, 2 chapters are taken in project work. First is the ratio analysis, that you are going to make a project on that. And the second problem will be related to cash flow statement. I'll be giving you a project work of cash flow after doing this chapter, and you will be inculcating this problem in your project work. So cash flow statement, in the beginning of the book, when we did the first chapter, I told you that each and every company is having 4 financial statements. Balance sheet, which is known as a position statement. Then statement of P&L, we have already done. Then notes to account, again we have done. Notes to account, the notes, different notes we have prepared, like long-term borrowing, all the components of long-term borrowing, share capital, reserve and surplus. So whatever the examples of those subheads are known as notes. Okay, so at the end of the balance sheet, you are going to prepare those notes, and these notes are attached with the balance sheet so that each and every person who is not directly related with the company, who is an outsider for the company, they can have the detailed description about the different items given in the balance sheet. So the fourth last one financial statement of the companies is cash flow statement. Cash flow statement, as the name specifies, cash flow statement, cash flow means the statement is basically about the cash flows of a company. Cash flows means from where the company is getting the cash, that is the inflow of cash, and to where the company is using the cash, or where the firm's cash is going out. So getting the cash means resources of the cash, and going the cash means applications of the cash. So in this chapter, we are going to study that what was the opening balance of the cash in a company, and what is the closing balance of the cash in a company. Suppose opening balance of the cash in a company was rupees 50 lakh and closing balance is 80 lakh. So each and every person who is directly or indirectly related with that company must want to know the reasons of the difference in between the opening balance and the closing balance. And those reasons, 30 lakh is the difference in between the opening and closing, that must have incurred due to inflow and outflow of the cash. There must be many inflows of the cash from many sources. Company must have got the cash, and similarly there must be many outflows of the cash. मीन्स बहुत सारे जगहों से कंपनी को पैसा मिला होगा और बहुत सारी जगहों पे कंपनी ने पैसा खर्चा होगा. So this statement will be giving us information in detail about all the inflows, whether it is a small inflow or the big inflow, or all the outflows of a company of cash during an accounting year. Okay, so this is the introduction of the chapter कि हम इस chapter में cash flows के बारे में जानेंगे कि कहाँ कहाँ से कंपनी के पास पैसा आया और कहाँ कहाँ पर कंपनी ने उस पैसे को use किया. So what are the learning objectives? You can see here the meaning of cash flow and cash flow statement, objectives of cash flow statement, importance, limitations. All these 4 topics are theoretical topics, and I told you earlier that 1 marker question will be coming from theory, and then the computation of cash flow from different From here, our numerical will start. So first of all, meaning of cash flow. What is the meaning of cash flow? So I have highlighted here the meaning. Simultaneously, you can write down in your notebooks or you can just listen. Cash flow statement is a statement, as the name implies, cash flow statement. So it is a statement which will be showing the cash flows of a company. Cash flows means inflow and outflow of the company, of cash and cash equivalents during the period under report. Mostly the period is of 1 year. It may be 6 months or quarter, 3 months, but mostly this period is 1 year. Okay, so all those transactions which are increasing the cash and cash equivalents, I will be telling you in the later part of the chapter that what do you mean by cash equivalents, are inflows, and the transactions that will be decreasing the cash will be known as outflows. Okay, so there are two methods. So for again one marker question, what is the format, where the format of the cash flow is given? Like I told you, the format of the balance sheet and statement of P&L, format of the balance sheet is given Schedule 3 Part 1, Indian Companies Act 2013 amended, and schedule of the statement of P&L, format of the statement of P&L is given Schedule 3 Part 2. All these are the one marker question. Schedule 3 Part 2 Indian Companies Act 2003 amended. So similarly, the cash flow statement is prepared according to the Accounting Standard 3 revised. So this is the one marker question. Which accounting standard is followed to prepare the cash flow statement? So it is Accounting Standard 3. In short, we can write AS3 revised. So this is the format and all about the cash flow statement. All the rules given in this standard are followed while making the cash flow statement. And this cash flow statement could be prepared in two methods by following two methods, direct method and indirect method. Direct method, as you can see, is not in syllabus. So this question can come only in one marker. What are the two methods under which the cash flow statement is prepared? So direct method and indirect method. And whenever direct method is not in your syllabus, so in this chapter we are going to study only the indirect method. By using indirect method, how the cash flow statement is prepared. So cash flow statement is divided under three heads. Which three heads? Operating activity. We will be doing all these three activities in detail while doing the chapter. Operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities. These are the three activities: operating, investing, and financing. We can say the whole chapter revolves around these three activities. It's totally about all these three activities. So first of all, we will be doing all these three activities individually, one by one. Then we will be combining all the activities together. Okay, students, to do the full-fledged question. So now objectives of cash flow statement. While doing chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, I told you one thing, that whatever the objectives of financial statement will be the objectives of any tool or the financial statement analysis. So it is a tool of financial statement analysis. So we will be having the same objectives and same limitations which we have already done. So the objective of cash flow statement are: first, to determine the sources of cash, means from where the company is getting the cash. Second objective, to determine the uses of the cash or the applications of the cash, means where the cash is going out, in which type of activities, operating, financing, and investing activities. Third important objective is to determine the net change. Suppose the inflows are 50,000 and outflows are 80,000. So the net change will be negative 30,000. And if the inflows are 1 lakh and outflows are 70,000, then here the net change will be positive 30,000. So the third important objective is to determine net change in the cash and cash equivalent. What are the net changes in the cash and cash equivalents? So next is the importance or uses of the cash flow statements. So three objectives: to determine the inflow, to determine the outflow, and due to the inflow and outflow, there will be change in cash position. So to determine the net change in cash and cash equivalents. Next, importance or uses of cash flow statement. Importance or uses of cash flow statement. What are the uses of cash flow statement, or why the cash flow statement is important? First, it facilitates the ascertaining cash flow. You need not to go in detail, just learn the headings, that are enough, because one marker question will be there only. So it facilitates the ascertaining cash flow statement. Cash flow, what is the amount of the cash flow, what is the inflows and what is the outflow. Then facilitating planning. If we are going to know about the inflow and outflow, then we will be able to keep a accurate amount of the cash with us. So it always facilitates in planning, help in assessing liquidity and solvency, whether we are able to pay our short term liabilities and long term liabilities or not. So cash flow position will be telling us about our liquidity position. Efficient cash management. Cash management means we will be able not to keep the excess amount in cash with us. Suppose we are in need of 50,000 and always we are having 3 lakh with us in cash. So 2,50,000 will be known as idle funds. Idle fund means those funds which remain idle and which can be used in other purposes for having the returns. So there will be efficient cash management. There will be no the problem of liquidity or not in the deficit of the cash or the surplus of the cash. Then comparative study can be made easily. Then dividend decision. If a company want to take dividend decision, then it has to decide whether to pay off the dividend or not. I told you earlier that after paying the third party liabilities, every year company has to declare dividend to the shareholders, because that is the return to the shareholder. So company will be able to pay off the dividend only it will be having good cash flow position, good cash in hand, because to pay the dividend, cash must be there with the company. So this decision will be taken only when the company's cash position is good. So it helps in taking dividend decision. And then comparative study, we can do the comparison. So all these are the uses or the importance of the cash flow. Facilitates in ascertaining cash flow, help in assessing liquidity position, efficient cash management, comparative study, and dividend decision. Most important thing is dividend decision. Then the limitations of cash flow statement. As the name implies, cash flow, it means in this statement only the transactions which will be affecting the cash will be recorded. So it is its serious limitation that it follows only the cash basis, not the accrual basis. In a business, many transactions may be there which are not in cash, which are on credit. So in this statement, we are not considering those transactions because only the cash transactions are shown. So it is the most important limitation of cash flow statement that non-cash transactions are not shown. Then second, not a substitute for an income statement. In income statement, we are showing all the cash as well as credit transaction. Cash as well as credit transactions. But this statement shows only cash transactions. So how it could be the substitute for an income statement? This is not a substitute of income statement, not a substitute of balance sheet. Because why? Because it does not show the financial position of the business. Balance sheet shows the financial position of the business. It just shows about the what? It shows about the only the cash position of the business. Then historical in nature, all the financial statements are historical. So that's why the cash flow is also based on the financial statement. So it is also the historical in nature. Historical in nature means it rearranges the available information, means which had happened in past. Which had happened in past. It is not telling us about the future. Next, assessment of liquidity. Liquidity of the enterprise cannot be determined from the cash flow statement alone. It helps in finding out the liquidity, but only with the cash flow statement. We cannot find out the liquidity because this also depends on the current assets, because anytime we can sell off the current assets and we can convert them in cash. Accuracy of the cash flow statement. It is prepared from the financial statements, and if the financial statements are prepared inaccurately, it is prepared on the basis of the financial statement, and if the financial statements are prepared inaccurately or there is some mistake in the financial statement, then those mistakes will be also presented by the cash flow statement. So these are the limitations. I am repeating. Non-cash transaction, most important limitation is this: non-cash transactions are not shown. Then not a substitute of income statement, not a substitute of balance sheet, historical nature. These are the enough. Now I am giving some definitions. All these definitions will be while doing the numerical, and as well as all these definitions are 1 marker question. So first definition is of cash. Cash means not only the cash in hand. Till now we were thinking that cash mean only the cash in hand. But for this chapter, cash means cash in hand as well as demand deposits with bank. Cash deposited in the current account of the company. You all know that business needs to open a current account. So whatever the amount of business is deposited in that current account is also the part of cash. So define cash. It's a very important 1 marker question. Cash comprises of cash in hand as well as cash in bank. Cash in bank not in the time deposits, not in the form of fixed deposits, only the demand deposits. Demand deposits means the deposits which are payable on demand, means checkable deposits against whom you can issue the checks. You are getting a checkbook. If you have made a fixed deposit FD in bank, then the bank is not going to issue a checkbook. So checkbook fixed deposit is not a demand deposit. Then cash equivalents. This is a very important 1 marker question. yes नमंजन, जो भी आपका बैंक बैलेंस है वो आपका कैश ही माना जाएगा इस चैप्टर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. ओके, so next is cash equivalent. We are using the word in this chapter again and again, cash and cash equivalent. So remember that cash and cash equivalent, cash is different, having different definition, and cash equivalents is having different definition. Cash, I told you, cash in hand and cash at bank. Cash equivalents means which is equal to cash. So the documents, the instruments which are equal to cash but not exactly cash is known as cash equivalents, but which can be converted into cash anytime. So these are the very highly liquid investments. Highly liquid investments means these investments you have done only for a short month, say for a period of 2 months, 3 months, and these can be any time converted into cash. That's why the definition is cash equivalents are, equivalents means equal to cash, not exactly cash. That's why the definition says that cash equivalents are short-term, highly liquid investments that are readily convertible into the known amount of cash, and which are subject to an insignificant risk of change in value. Insignificant risk of change in value means you are very much sure that there will be no loss in such type of instruments. For example, we can say treasury bills. Treasury bills you must have read in economics in money and banking chapter. Treasury bills are the highly liquid bills which are issued by RBI on behalf of central government, and the price of one treasury bill is 25,000 rupees, and these bills are issued at discount. ओके, सपोज आपने एक ट्रेजरी बिल खरीदा और गवर्नमेंट से आपको वो 23,000 का मिला, एमआरपी इज 25,000 एंड द मेच्योरिटी पीरियड ऑफ दैट ट्रेजरी बिल इज 6 months. So you know that after 6 months you will be getting definitely 25,000. So risk of change in value is zero in treasury bill. So the complete definition I am reading again. It's a very important definition. Cash equivalents are short term. Short term means very short term, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, maximum 6 months. Highly liquid means any time they can be converted into cash. Highly liquid investments that are readily convertible into the known amount of cash. Known amount means हमें पता है कि कितने पैसे मिलेंगे. Like in case of treasury bill, 25,000 का treasury bill था, आपने 23 में खरीदा था, but आपको पता है 6 months के बाद आपको 25 ही मिलेंगे. So known amount of cash means आपको पहले से ही पता है कि कितना कैश मिलेगा, and which are subject to an insignificant of risk in value. It means जिनमें कोई रिस्क नहीं है, उस मेच्योरिटी पीरियड के बाद आपको उतना ही वैल्यू मिलेगा. ट्रेजरी बिल्स आर इशूड बाय द गवर्नमेंट RBI, so how they can be risky? So there is no risk. So highly liquid investments, 3 features: highly liquid, short term, readily convertible into the known amount of cash without any loss. Yes, preference shares can be there, Divya, but if so preference shares can be there, but only the preference shares which you have purchased only for a shorter period, 2 months, 3 months only, not for a longer period. So current investments, you have studied current investment in chapter 1, that is the part of current asset. Current assets के subheads थे बहुत सारे, उसमें current investment was the first. So current investment जब तक question में कुछ clear ना हो, they are considered cash and cash equivalent for this chapter. Current investment, we will assume that we have invested money in these investments only for a shorter period, for 2 months, 3 months. So jab tak question silent hoga, you will consider current investment as the cash equivalent. So some examples of cash equivalent are there: treasury bills, commercial papers, preference shares if these are redeemable within 3 months, as I told Divya, and date of purchase of these significant risk of change in value. So 3 examples are given here, and you can add up more examples like any money market funds and mutual funds. Mutual funds are also the example of cash equivalents. So cash means cash in hand, cash at bank for this chapter, and cash equivalent means those instruments which can be easily converted into the known amount of cash without any loss. Now cash flow. Define cash flow. One marker question again. Cash flow means inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalent. Not only the cash. You will be not using the only word cash in this chapter. Whenever you will be using the cash, you will be saying cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalents. So cash flow means inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalents. Okay, Anmol is saying commercial paper to explain. Actually, this topic is from the BST chapter 10, but still if you are asking for, I am explaining here. कमर्शियल पेपर्स एक्चुअली जैसे आप शेयर्स खरीदते हो, डिबेंचर्स खरीदते हो, वैसे ही कमर्शियल पेपर भी होते हैं, पेपर फॉर्म में इन्वेस्टमेंट होती है. दीज आर इशूड बाय द हाईली रेप्यूटेड ब्लू चिप कंपनीज एंड द कॉस्ट ऑफ वन कमर्शियल पेपर इज 5 lakh. One paper is of 5 lakh and the price is decided. So normally the institutional buyers are purchasing commercial paper, not the individual buyers, क्योंकि individual buyers के पास तो small savings होते हैं, तो वो इतना सारा पैसा एक जगह invest नहीं करते हैं. So commercial papers are issued by the paper form, short term highly liquid instruments, and these are issued by the blue chip companies. Blue chip companies means those companies which are having a good reputation. Yes, I am telling you, Anshika, before asking the question, I have started giving answer. Blue chip companies means those companies which are having a good credit standing in the market, good reputation in the market, and people just want to invest in those companies. They are declaring high dividends, are getting good profits, are known as blue chip companies. Stock market में जिसकी इमेज बहुत अच्छी होती है, जिसके शेयर्स कभी डाउन नहीं जाते हैं, वो कंपनीज होती हैं blue chip companies. So commercial papers are issued by blue chip companies to the general public or to any institutional buyer like bankers, non-financing, NBFC, non-banking financing companies. Anyone can buy, and the price of one commercial paper is fixed, that is 5 lakh rupees. और वो भी आपको डिस्काउंट पे मिलता है, लाइक 5 लाख वाला आपको 4.5 लाख में मिल गया, और जब 1 साल के बाद आप वापस करोगे तो आपको 5 लाख मिलेंगे. कमर्शियल पेपर एंड ट्रेजरी बिल्स डोंट हैव एनी इंटरेस्ट रेट. They are without interest rate, they are issued without interest rate. So what is the benefit in buying them? जितना उसका प्राइस है वो उससे कम में आपको मिलेगा, और जब आप वापस करेंगे मेच्योरिटी पीरियड के बाद, then you are going to back the MRP or the face value. Like commercial paper is 5 lakh, price is fixed, minimum value of the commercial paper is 5 lakh. उससे ज्यादा का तो हो सकता है, उससे कम का नहीं होता है, तो वो आपको 5 लाख से कम में मिलेगा. और जब आप उसको बेचेंगे तो जो भी मेच्योरिटी पीरियड होगा, अगर 6 मंथ्स था, 6 मंथ्स के बाद अगर आप बेच रहे हैं, ये सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट शॉर्ट टर्म होते हैं. शॉर्ट टर्म मीन्स इनका जो मेच्योरिटी पीरियड है दैट इज लेस देन 1 मंथ. ओके, तो आपको 5 लाख मिल जाएगा. ओके, सो कैश फ्लोज मीन्स इनफ्लोज एंड आउटफ्लोज ऑफ कैश एंड कैश इक्विवेलेंट. So these and some of the transactions are there, make sure, which will not be resulting in any inflow or outflow, like cash withdrawn from bank for business. So when cash is converted into cash equivalents or cash equivalent is converted into cash, then it will result in no flow, neither inflow and nor outflow. Make sure, like we have done in 11th also, contra entries are passed, cash withdrawn in bank and cash deposited in bank, cash withdrawn from bank. So actually it is not affecting, because cash in hand and cash at bank both are the part of cash. So when we are withdrawing money from cash and we are withdrawing money from bank, then definitely bank is reducing and cash balance is increasing. So ultimate the effect is same. So these are the transaction. Whenever these transactions will be there, you will be writing no effect on cash flow, neither inflow nor outflow. Examples are cash withdrawn from bank for office use for business, cash deposited into bank. Withdrawn or deposited both are same. or you are purchasing any cash equivalent by using cash or bank, like you have purchased T-bills, so your cash is converted in treasury bill. Treasury bill, the example of cash equivalent. You have sold T-bills. In that case, your cash equivalent is converted in cash. Okay, so such transactions will be not affecting the cash at all, neither inflow nor outflow. Next, next is the operating activities. Now we have come to the main topic. All this was about the introduction. So operating three activities, I told you that there are three activities in cash flow statement, and our main focus will be on all those three activities. So operating activities. Operating activities means all those activities which are the main business activity of the business, main principal revenue generating activities of the business, principal revenue generating activities. We can take many examples. For example, एक फर्नीचर शॉप वाला है, तो जब फर्नीचर शॉप वाला है तो फर्नीचर जब वो सेल कर रहा है तो उसकी मेन बिजनेस एक्टिविटी क्या है? सेल ऑफ फर्नीचर, प्रिंसिपल रेवेन्यू जनरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज. एक गारमेंट शॉप वाला है तो उसके लिए मेन सेलिंग एक्टिविटी क्या है? सेलिंग ऑफ गारमेंट. सो वॉट एवर द अमाउंट ही इज गेटिंग बाय सेलिंग ऑफ द गारमेंट्स, रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स, देन it is his operational activity. So many other examples we can take for the operational. So if a business is selling any type of product, so by selling that product only, whatever the amount he is getting, that is known as operating activity. That's why it is said the principal revenue producing activities. Principal revenue producing means RFO, revenue from operations. That's why it is known as revenue from operations. Why? Because this sales is generated through operating activities or the other activities that are not investing or financing. This is the complete definition of we can say the operating activities. So I'm repeating the definition. All these are the activities which are related to the principal revenue generating activities and which are not neither the investing activities or nor the financing activities. Means if any activity which is not you are not able to identify whether it is operating or not, then you will try to find out the whether it is investing or financing. If it is neither investing nor financing, then it must have be operating activities. So बिजनेस में आपको कहाँ कहाँ से ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज के क्या क्या एग्जांपल हम ले सकते हैं? फॉर एग्जांपल, कैश रिसिप्ट्स फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ गुड्स. यस, कैश रिसिप्ट्स फ्रॉम रॉयल्टी, फीस एंड कमीशन, दिस इज आल्सो द ऑपरेटिंग. कैश रिसिप्ट फ्रॉम ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स, इफ अर्लियर वी हैव सोल्ड द गुड्स ऑन क्रेडिट and now we are receiving the amount back from the debtors, then it will be also the operating activity. And these are the example of inflows. Three examples are here. You can learn or write. Cash receipts from the sale of goods or providing the services. If your business is of providing services, then definitely the cash receipts from providing services. And second is cash receipt from royalty, fees and commissions. If you are a service provider, then you will be getting the fees or royalties or any other thing. And the commission. Commission is also every time an operating activity. If you have sold goods on credit, then after a few months or after a few days, you must be getting your cash back from your debtors and BR. So that is also a cash receipt operating activity. So three are the inflows. These three will be known as inflows. Then the outflow. All the payments which you are making for any trading account expense or any P&L expense, that is the mostly all the items, that is the operating activity. Like payment made to the purchase, we can say all the operating expense. अभी अभी हमने रेशो में operating expenses किए थे, तो जितने भी operating expenses आप पे करते हो, that is the result of operating activity. So payment to the purchase of goods, purchases जो भी आपने किए हैं, means cash purchases. Payment made to trade payables means credit purchases जो आपने किए थे उसकी payment जो आप कर रहे हो. Wages, salaries and other payment to employees benefit expenses. Cash receipts of premium and payment of claims for insurance company. Like कोई भी insurance company है तो उसका main जो business operation है, दैट इज ओनली द प्रीमियम एंड पेमेंट ऑफ क्लेम. प्रीमियम उसको मिल रहा है, लोग उसको इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम पे कर रहे हैं, तो वो उसकी इंपॉर्टेंट जो है रिसिप्ट है, और जो वो क्लेम्स की पेमेंट कर रही है वो उसके लिए ऑपरेटिंग पेमेंट है. देन this we will be discussing later on. Okay, so चलो अभी डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, अदरवाइज आपको बाद में कंफ्यूजन होगी. On the basis of nature of companies, companies are divided in two parts in cash flow statement: manufacturing and trading company and financial company. Financial company means all those banking companies and other non-banking companies which deals in finance. Means actually they are not buying and selling of goods. They deals only in finance. So payment for purchase of, like अगर आपका फर्नीचर बिजनेस है और आप अपने फर्नीचर बिजनेस में शेयर खरीद रहे हैं एक्स्ट्रा पैसे से, तो कैन यू से दैट इट इज योर ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी? टेल मी, क्या ये आपकी ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी है? अगर आप शेयर खरीद रहे हैं, आपका फर्नीचर का बिजनेस है और आप अपने बिजनेस के एक्स्ट्रा पैसे से किसी कंपनी के शेयर में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो कुड यू प्लीज टेल मी इट इज योर ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी? यस, टेल मी स्टूडेंट्स. नो, इट्स नॉट योर ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी, क्योंकि आपकी ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी है बाइंग एंड सेलिंग ऑफ फर्नीचर. क्लियर? बट अगर एक फाइनेंसिंग कंपनी है, फाइनेंसिंग कंपनी मीन्स लाइक एक बैंक है या कोई भी प्राइवेट मनी लेंडिंग कंपनी है, तो अगर वो अपना पैसा, मनी लेंडिंग वाली जो बिजनेस है, जो बैंक है, जो बाकी इंस्टीट्यूशंस है, उनका बिजनेस कैसे चलता है? लाइक बैंक है, बैंक में हम अपनी स्मॉल सेविंग डिपॉजिट करते हैं. अब बैंक उन स्मॉल सेविंग पर हमें इंटरेस्ट देता है, तो बैंक कहाँ से इंटरेस्ट दे देता है? बैंक फर्दर उस मनी को कहीं पर इन्वेस्ट कर देता है, शेयर्स में, सिक्योरिटीज में, या फिर बैंक उस पैसे को, जो नीडी पर्सन होते हैं, जो बैंक से लोन लेना चाहते हैं, उनको लोन पे दे देता है. तो हमारे लिए लोन लेना देना एक ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी नहीं है, बट बैंक और फाइनेंसिंग कंपनीज जिनका मेन काम ही फाइनेंस में डील करना है, उनके लिए परचेज ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज, परचेजिंग ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, सेलिंग ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, लोन ग्रांटिंग और लोन देना और लोन का पैसा वापस लेना, उनके लिए वो सब क्या है? उनकी ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी है. ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी मींस ये सब उनका मेन बिजनेस ऑपरेशन है. तो अगर हम फाइनेंसिंग कंपनी की बात करेंगे, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट खरीदना, बेचना और लोन देना, दिया हुआ लोन वापस मिलना, ये सब क्या है? उनका मेन बिजनेस ऑपरेशन है. बट आपको यहाँ पे एक चीज ध्यान रखनी है, अगर क्वेश्चन साइलेंट है about the nature of the company, कि कंपनी फाइनेंसिंग है या नॉन फाइनेंसिंग, so you will always assume that it is a non financing company. As with the financing company, it will be always mentioned that the company is a financing company, or it will be written like a banking company. Name of the bank will be given, so you can assume easily that the company is a banking company. So next is the principal revenue producing activity means business activities being carried by the enterprise to earn profit. For example, like एक कंप्यूटर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है, तो उसके लिए कंप्यूटर खरीदना बेचना उसका मेन RFO है. बट अगर आप फर्नीचर शॉप के ओनर हैं और आपने कंप्यूटर खरीदा, तो वो आपकी ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी नहीं है, वो आपकी इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिविटी है. क्यों? क्योंकि आप कंप्यूटर में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो. कंप्यूटर विल बी यूज्ड एज एन एसेट. Similarly, trading company purchase and sale of goods is a principal revenue producing activity. For a financing company, what is the main principal revenue generating activity? Giving loans, taking back loans, purchase and sale of security is their principal revenue producing activity. Now here is the example on the basis of operating activity. Okay, let's check your understanding. Identify which of the following transactions are classified or shown as operating activity. Until or unless financing is mentioned with any transaction, you will be considering that the company is a non-financing company. Okay, first example, cash received from sale of good. Tell me, is it operating or not? Start giving answers, students. Cash received from sale of goods. Yes, Anshika, Anushk, Shubhangi, Harshvat, everyone has given correct answer. Yes. Now one more thing you have to tell me here. Operating inflow or outflow? Operating inflow or outflow? It is operating. Yes, Priyanshi, it is operating. Now my next question is, it is inflow or outflow? Yes, inflow. Cash received. जब हम goods को sale करेंगे तो हमें cash मिलेगा, और जब cash मिलेगा तो वो inflow होगा. Next, cash paid for purchase of goods. Tell me. Cash paid for purchase of goods. Yes, it will be known as operating outflow. Very good, Anmol. Operating outflow. पेमेंट ऑफ सैलरीज एंड वेजेस, यस, आपने सैलरी और वेजेस दिया, तो आप चेक करो क्या ये ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंस है। अभी अभी आप रेशो में ऑपरेटिंग वाला चैप्टर पढ़कर आए हो। यस, salary and wages is the operating expense which is related to the main operation of the business, so it is operating outflow. Very good. Payment of interest on loan, लोन लेना देना क्या आपका मेन बिजनेस एक्टिविटी है? लोन लेना देना? नो। अगर यहाँ पे होता पेमेंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट फॉर अ फाइनेंसिंग कंपनी तो हो जाता, यस, इट्स अ नॉन ऑपरेटिंग। यस, वेरी गुड, नॉन ऑपरेटिंग। रीपेमेंट ऑफ लोन, वेदर इट इज ऑपरेटिंग और नॉन ऑपरेटिंग, रीपेमेंट ऑफ लोन, yes, it's a non operating. Very good. Purchase of machinery against payment, आप मशीन खरीद रहे हो, मशीन खरीदना बेचना क्या एक ट्रेडिंग बिजनेस के लिए ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी है? यस, नॉन ऑपरेटिंग, इट्स नॉन ऑपरेटिंग। तो मशीन खरीदने का मतलब कौन सी एक्टिविटी हो गई, बता सकते हो? मशीन खरीदना, विच एक्टिविटी इज दिस? आप मशीन खरीद रहे हो, मशीन में पैसे क्या कर रहे हो आप? इन्वेस्टमेंट, सो इट्स इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिविटी। देन डिविडेंड पेड, yes, dividend paid. Is dividend paid operating activity? No, it's not operating activity. Operating means वो सब चीजें जो आप ट्रेडिंग और पी एंड एल में लिखते हो, सेल, परचेज, यही सब लिखते हो ट्रेडिंग पी एंड एल में, बट उसमें से